Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Monique Agbo and I upload sewing and lifestyle content on this channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you all how I made this tube top, as you can see in the middle, and the two videos by the side, left and right side, is the recreation I made. So if that's something you're interested in watching, let's dive into this tutorial together. To make this top, these are the materials we need. You need your fabric, you need your pins, your chalk, and your scissors. So for this top, we'll be making use of the freehand method. So this is half trouser. I'm using half trouser of fabric for this top. I had to chalk out the wrong side of my fabric so it will be easier for me to identify it. So the next thing you want to do is to fold your fabric on a fold of 4. So I already folded the material on a fold of 4. Can you see? This is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that means I'm cutting the front and the back together. So the next thing you want to do now is to pin it. So this is what it looks like after I've already pinned it. So the length I'm working with for this top is 23 inches, and from the picture of this top, it's an off-shoulder top. So that means that I am taking, she does not want her boobs to really show, so for her cleavage depth I'll be making use of 7 inches. So I'll be taking out 7 inches like this. So that means my starting line will start from 7 inches, but because I need to leave an allowance, half-inch allowance at the upper part, I will start from a 6.5 instead. So from this 6.5, I'm going to mark a bust point. A bust point is 9.5. Then I'll proceed to marking a half waist point. Our half waist point is 15. Our length is 23. And I'm making use of 24.5 for the length. I'm adding extra 1.5 inches for the length of the top. So that's what I will use to hem it. So the next thing I'm going to do is just to connect these points together. So on this chest line here, the starting point, I'm going to mark out a bust measurement, which is 8.5. I'll do the same thing on this bust point here. I'm going to mark out 8.5. Then I'm going to mark out our waist measurement. Please make sure that you divide all your measurements divided by 4. So now on this top length, if you look at the top wall, it's a straight slit. It has a straight slit, but it's looking kind of slanted. So which means that on our top length, I'm going to use a bust measurement instead of a hip measurement, so that by the time it's tight on the waist, it's going to give that slant effect. So I'm marking a bust point here, and I'll do the same thing on the allowance side. So I'm just going to connect all these points together. So I'm only adding 1 inch for the allowance. So I'm just going to mark out 1 inch. Like this. Then I'm just going to connect it together. This top is going to have a zip, but the zip will be at the side, so there's no need for you to add the zip allowance, because this side allowance will serve as the zip allowance. So you're good to go, so you can just go ahead to cut it out. So after cutting it, this is what the top looks like. So can you see it's on the fold of 4. We have one for the front, we have another one for the back. So what I'm going to do now is to notch the upper part so it doesn't confuse me when I'm about to sew it, because can you see the chest edge and the length edge, it's similar, so you don't get confused and turn it upside down. So I'm only notching the upper part. Just notch it. So now the next thing I'm going to do now is to cut the facing for this upper part, what I will use to turn it. So for the facing, you just take an extra piece from your fabric and you fold it into two like this. Can you see? Then you place your fabric on it. I'm joining both the front and the back because it's literally like the same thing. So I'm just going to place it on it like this. So always work with your pins. So I'm just going to pin it like this. So the length of your facing should not be more than 4 inches. So from this point like this, I'm going to go down and mark out 4 inches. So I'm just trying to like roll out this line like this so I can know my starting point, so I can remove this pin. Then just going to mark out 4 inches like this and like this. So I'm just going to connect the points together and you're good to go. So this is one of the facing for the front. So I'm just going to literally cut. So I'm just going to cut out the same thing for the back. So now after following my method, you should have this top on a fold of 4. You should have something like this, and you should have 2 pieces of this that will serve as your facing. So now let's proceed to the sewing part of this top. So I'm just going to take off my pins like this and open the top out. Can you see? This is what it looks like. So this part that I notch, I already know that this is the upper part. Can you see? Don't notch it too much. The reason why I even notch it like this because we're still going to put the facing to cover it. You get? So for the facing, we're going to aim it with the hemming gum. So you're going to pick, you can see both sides are like the same thing. So you're just going to pick one side as the turning point and you pick one side as the hemming part. So I'm picking this part as the hemming part. So I'm just going to fold it like this. Can you see? Like I'm taking 1/2 inch to fold it like this. So this is where my hemming gum will come in. So this is my hemming gum. So I'm just going to place it on it like this. Can you see? Then I will just stitch it. You stitch it with the hemming gum. So by the time you are done, so that's what I'm also going to do for this second facing. I'm just going to take 1/2 inch like this, put my hemming gum on it and stitch it. Then I'll show you the next thing to do. After stitching it, this is what it looks like. Can you see? I stitched it by 1/2 inch and this is what it looks like with the hemming gum. And I did the same thing for the second piece too. 1/2 inch. So the next thing I want to do now is to iron it out. So I'm just going to iron the upper part first. So after I went ahead to iron the facing, this is what it looks like, and this is what it looks like on the front part. Can you see how neat it looks like? So the next thing we're going to do now is to place both sides together, right side facing the right side like this. So I'm just going to pin it. The top is very versatile, so you can just pick one side. So I'm just going to mark out 1 inch allowance at one of the sides. That's what I'm going to take. Remember when I was cutting it, I left 1 inch allowance. So for the second part, you can, if you check the picture well, the slit starts from our waist area. So I'm just going to take out my 7 inches that we took for the off shoulder. Then I'm just going to measure it to our waist area. So I'll be making use of 16 inches. So after marking it out like this, I'm just going to take my normal 1 inch allowance here. I'm going to stitch it. So that means from this side, this place will be left open for the slit area. So this part that I told you I'm going to stitch before the slit opening, I'm going to fix my invisible zip here, but I'm not fixing it now. So I'm just going to stitch it. Later on, I'll fix the invisible zip because my zipper foot is not here at the moment. So remember, you stitch your 1 inch allowance here. Take your 1 inch, stop at where you want the slit to start from, and I'll show you guys the next thing to do. This is what this is what it looks like after I've already stitched the allowance. So I'm just going to flip it over to the right side. So this is what it looks like after I've flipped it over to the right side. So this is the part that is fully stitched. So the side that has slit, this is what it looks like. Can you see? Later on, when I will lose this part and fix my zip. So for the slit area, what I'm going to do is to flip it over to the wrong side like this. From this part like this, I'm just going to stitch it like this, fold it, then you just pin it. You're going to pin it down to the end of the top like this. I'll do the same thing for the second side. You're just going to fold it like this. This is the slit area. So from this first edge here, I'm just going to stitch it like this. I'll stitch. I'll stop at this part, this closed area, just like ½ inch above it. Then I'll stitch it again and continue to the second side and stitch it. So this is what it looks like after I've already stitched the slit area. Can you see? I started from here. Let me show you how it looks like from the edge point. Start from here, came here, turn it to this side and stitched it. So this is what you should have. You should have something like this. So after stitching it, the next thing you want to do now is to hem the down part. So I'm just going to fold it like this and fold it again, and I will just stitch it around to hem the down part of this top. After hemming the down part of the top, I also went ahead to fix the invisible zip by the side, and this is what it looks like at the end. If you enjoyed this tutorial, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on your post notification bell so you can know anytime I upload a new video, and give this video a thumbs up so it can reach others so they can also learn from this video. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in my next upload. Bye guys.